car fans, welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ral, and this week's build I'm featuring here, this is a 73 Challenger Rallye, and this is a 340. Now for 73, they did do some changes, but not much, as it visually looks just like the 72. There were a couple of differences. The biggest noticeable difference on a factory car, especially if it's restored to original, is the bumper guards, these big rubber blocks on the front here. And also on the back, by the way. So, to meet the new 5-mile-an-hour bumper standards, they added those on there to help with the impact and the crash test. But also on top of that, the bumpers were actually pushed out just a little bit, kind of like what they did on the Chargers. They moved the bumpers out just a little bit. Not noticeable in model kit form, but on the real car, they're out a little bit farther. And on the front bumper of the Challenger, it's actually got an extra brace on the inside where you really can't see it, but it's there. So that was the major safety change. But also in it, the options did change quite a bit, but not really. It's a yes and no thing. Now, first thing they did is they dropped the 225 inline six. So the Challenger for 73 was V8 only now, which came with a 318 two-barrel or the optional 340 engine. So really just two V8s. And then I read in a couple spots that the 360 replaced the 340 late in 73. Some places mention that. Most of them say the 360 replaced the 340 in 74. Now that was pretty much exclusive for 74. So I'm not really sure if any 360s were put in 73 Challengers. With Mopar, there's always exceptions, so I would not be surprised. But another thing for 73 that was a big change, the Rallye package was no longer its own model. It was just an appearance package. So you got the stripes in black or white, you got the scoops on the side, you got the domed hood with the scoops, all often called a Rallye hood. But all of that came as part of the Rallye package along with the instrument cluster and the 140 Speedo. But it had nothing to do with the engine anymore. You can get a 318 with the Rallye package on it, and you can get a 340 with the Rallye package on it. So that part really didn't matter. So because of it, it's kind of unclear how many Rallyes are actually made because it was a separate package. So there's really no numbers. But when it comes to the Challenger for 73, it did see an increase in sales. It went up to like 32,000 from 27,000 for 72. So it did have an increase in sales, but visually it's really not much different. Other than it did have a lot more color options available. So that was one of the major things, was you could really, pick whatever color you wanted because there were 16 or 17 exterior colors. I did this one in black, just kind of having some fun with it as I wanted something a little different. My 72 I did in yellow, and I put the 344 barrel emblems on the side of it. And that's the only way the 340 was offered. They didn't offer a 342 barrel. It was 4-barrel only. Power was down though with the net ratings and everything. I believe it was 280 horsepower that was rated at. But it was still a performer. And the 4-speed was available behind it, where by 73 the 4-speed was starting to disappear. But you could get the 4-speed behind a 318 or a 340 in 73 in the Challengers. But you no longer had the choice of wide ratio or close ratio. It was more of the wide ratio only, along with getting the optional heavy-duty suspension and everything like that, which I believe was a separate package and wasn't really part of the Rallye package. But that's all that. And then they had the Argent tail panels on the Rallyes. But like I said, you can get a 340 Challenger without getting the Rallye package, which it's kind of interesting and everything. And the pop-open gas cap was gone for 72 and later. So the RTs got that, but the Rallyes did not. Another interesting thing that you kind of think about, when I see a bunch of these, you see a ton of them with sunroofs put into them. And you start to think about that. Well, why is that? Well, mostly is because, a lot of 70s, you started to see T-tops and sunroofs, and they were everywhere. But that's mainly because the convertibles went away. Whether it was for crash tests or the sales were just down, but people still crave that open roof feeling. So a lot of these cars had sunroofs installed in them, aftermarket sunroofs. because the convertible is no longer available. Now for Challenger, the convertible was available in 71, but not in 72 or 73. They vanished. But even like the full-size cars, the convertible is available in 70, but not 71 when it comes to the Mopars. Matter of fact, a lot of them, 70 was the last year for the convertibles, with the exception of the Challenger and Cudas for 71. You can still get the convertible in those, but that was pretty much it for Mopar convertibles. So kind of interesting there. Now I'm gonna take this outside and we'll go do this in the stun, and you'll see something kind of stands out a little bit, and I'll talk about that during that, and I'll bring it up here because here it's black, it's solid black, and it's not in the sunlight. But when I take it outside, we'll go ahead and do that. Well, here it is out in the sun, and you can kind of see my particular flaw with this particular one, but you know, gloss black 73 Challenger Rallye here with the white stripes and everything, but you can see the little bit of gold sparkle in this, which is where I had learned to make sure I clean my airbrush thoroughly before clear coat. I mean full tear down clear coat, because in the sun you can see the little bit of the copper metallic flakes that are showing through here, but doesn't show inside. But it's kind of funny that it's a nice even coat of those metallic flakes. So I can see them here in the sun for sure. I'm hoping the camera kind of picks it up. But you know, really enjoyed building this one and how it restored out really nice. But that's my only particular flaw with this one, but it's kind of a beautiful flaw and just hidden really well when those and I believe that was Aztec copper metallic from painting one of the GM ones, but that's because I clear coated a bunch of cars all at the same time, and that's just kind of what happened there. So I learned to thoroughly clean that airbrush right before I do any clear coating, because any remnants of any old paint in there sometimes will come through and hide really well. Like if I did this on another color, it wouldn't show too much, you know, especially, you know, the orange one I actually painted this color. And then the other ones that, you know, certain colors would hide it as well, but black doesn't hide anything. So definitely showing on this one, but here we go. Well, we'll head back on inside and we'll continue on with this one. So see you in a bit. All right, well, now that you saw it outside and you saw the glistening metallic flake in it, which you do not see here, that was, you know, as I was mentioning, was a mistake on my part with the airbrush. Now I thoroughly clean the airbrush when I do clear coat, a full tear down clear, clean up I should say, and then clear. And that's one of the reasons for it is, you know, I did it on this one. Every now and then I'd get a white bodied car, and I'd get like a black or blue or red speck somewhere that was hidden somewhere in the airbrush and decided to come out during clear. And of course I'd be painting like white or yellow or something. This car, it was much more of a, I had painted one of the cars like an Aztec copper metallic, which really cool color, and the clear on that one laid beautifully, but some of that was still in the clear when I shot this one. Now it doesn't show up here, but as soon as you go out into the sunlight, it really stands out. I mean, you can kind of see it if I really get close. You can see some of the metallic in it. So, but it doesn't show up very well other than that. And you can see the base black right there because this is not clear coated. But it's kind of funny that I kind of went out kind of even, and looks, you know, it looked pretty good, but it kind of makes it a custom. But after all the work I did to this thing, I wasn't going to redo it. Now, this is an MPC Challenger here, and it's an annual kit. So, you know, the giveaways is the, you know, of course the dated bumpers, 1973. The grills are a little bit different depending on the pattern there in the Challenger script. 72s are just a little bit different in that. But, you know, I kept all the body MPC, and the interior is all MPC. So I kind of kept all of that, and I really didn't do anything. But the wheels and tires are AMT, and the whole underside is the 70 Challenger as far as the chassis, the exhaust, the rear end. That rear end is incorrect. That's a Dana 60, which, you know, the Challenger, the 70 Challenger has, and it's a 446 pack. So it's correct for that, but not for this. This should have a 8 3/4 rear end, but I kind of left it alone. Didn't really change that. I wasn't too worried about it, as this is so much nicer. Now I did fill in this tunnel because there's a huge gap here normally you would see. And then same thing with the firewall. There would be a gap right in there, but I filled that with putty and made those kind of disappear. And it looks really nice and all of that. Now the engine I swapped out. That's from the 71 Duster AMT. That's the 340 from that. So I used that and the AC lines and compressor and everything, and put that motor in here. Now the fan shroud is a little bit farther away from the fan. Couldn't really help that. But, you know, some of that is stuff that you deal with when you do a lot of kit bashing. But I did paint it the appropriate blue with the orange air cleaner and the 340 emblems on there. So it came out really, really nice. I'm really, really happy with the way this went together. So a lot of fun and a really good looking car. And, you know, I really enjoy these. Now I've got one more of these MPC kits. I do have a 74, and it's got the 74 bumpers, which strangely doesn't have the bumper guards on the 74. And they should be there, but they're not. And grill's a little bit different, but the hood actually says 360 4-barrel on it. And 74, the 360 was available. But so I'll end up building one of those, and whether or not I'll do body color mirrors or chrome mirrors or how I'm going to do that one. But I'm going to do it as a rally. I can't sand those scoops off and go flat hood. I just love the look of the rally. So I enjoy building these. But I still got that one left to do. And that will pretty much finish all of my Challengers for all years. And then I've got these Fred Cady strobe stripes for the side there, which look really cool on this car. I just always liked the way those looked. But anyway, that'll kind of do it for this particular one. So let me know what you think of it. And if you got any projects like this, I always like hearing about some of your restoration projects as well. So you guys, thank you for tuning in and subscribing and all your comments. I really do appreciate it. And you guys, you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.